Yeah, I always do that. Okay. And yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get started. I am Ana Ortiz, and I am the program coordinator for the College and Career Readiness Program at AHC Inc. I work with Gabby, who is the manager who couldn't be here today. But yeah, so I will just share with you guys some tips and a lot of information.
I'm Laura Jackson. I am the volunteer coordinator for AHC. So I support this program and all of the other programs that we do in resident services, which is team tutoring, reading buddies with elementary school students, and some food distribution programs. So I know you're going to love doing this as a volunteer experience, but if you ever want to try anything else, or if you know anybody that does want to volunteer in another way, then I would love to hear from you about that.
Yeah. And so we will start with an icebreaker to get to know each other. And we will break down into groups a little bit about the stuff at ACA in the program. And we're actually really big. So actually, let me mute. If you are not going to say something, make sure you're muted. All right, so this is actually the three main stuff of the CCR program, and there's also Laura, but I couldn't find a picture of her, but here it is, Laura. Remember her face. And so I am on your left with the VCU Political Science chair. I'm Ana, and I did go to VCU, and I graduated in 2019. In the middle, it's Gabby, the program manager. She also went to VCU. We graduated together. And then there is Milenka Cornell. She is the assistant director for resident services. She actually is the one who created the program and started it 5 years ago. Now she oversees not only the CCR program, but she also oversees all of the team programs. So all of middle school programs at AHC resident services. And that's Laura.
All right. So the mission of AHC, I'm going to read it, and we've got a coworker in here who maybe we can recite this. AHC's mission is to produce and preserve high quality, affordable, and mixed income housing. So this is one of our properties. This is the Gates of Boston. We have 25 properties in Arlington, and then we have about 25 more in the surrounding areas going all the way up to Baltimore. So the students in the program all live at one of our properties. Most of our volunteering is where the students live, but this is unique in the CCR program. And then as a mentor, your student might not live in a property that has a community center, that many of our buildings do. So we're all part of the resident services team. One of the things that makes AHC unique is we have resident services to support the families where they live. So we do these education programs, which are awesome. We do food distribution programs. We've been doing a whole lot of rental assistance since COVID, so helping residents access the federal funds for rental assistance. So, we're busy. It's fun. It's very rewarding work. But if you ever are having trouble getting in touch with Gabby and I, they might be wearing one of their other hats, or me for that matter. So.
And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the actual program that you will be volunteering for, which is the College and Career Readiness Program. As I mentioned before, it was actually established about 5 years ago by Milenka. And we've always had programs from K through from like the elementary school kids, and we try to support our residents from K to 12. Then we also have teen program, which is for middle schoolers, and then because we were trying to support the K through 12, we kind of realized that we needed a program that was specific to juniors and seniors to help them transition to their next step, which usually does mean college, but we really want to support our students with whatever it is that they want to do after high school, which can be, going to college or starting a career, a business, going to the military, or maybe even exploring their interests throughout that year. Yes.
How do the teenagers sign up for the program, and how do they get involved?
That is such a great question. I will Okay, I will go through this slide, but I'm really excited to.
Sorry to throw you off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the AHC endpoint. So.
Yeah, so I will definitely go over that. That's a really good question. So anyway, so that's what we try to do, right? So we have over 25 properties in all of Arlington, and we are basically based in Virginia, and so we try to serve every student that is here. And just a little bit about the class of 2021-2022, the students who graduated this spring in June, we had 42 seniors in total. 2 of those seniors graduated 3 years, and then 1 is going to the Marines. We had 125 acceptances out of 224 college applications. And then our most exciting number, I love to say this one, we had 6.5 million in scholarships and gift aid given to our students. And a lot of that is part of the fact that these students are low-income students, and the government, colleges, and basically everyone is doing a really big effort to support low-income students to increase representation and increase social mobility in communities like these. So you guys are all going to start to be part of that, which is very exciting. We are also not only an AHC program, but we are supported by several state agencies, and the main one that supports us is called Project Discovery, which is an agency that actually promotes the successful transition of students from high school to their next step in their lives, especially college. Project Discovery is all over Virginia, and they support programs like this all the way from the south of Virginia to us in the north. So Project Discovery actually designs a lot of our expectations, and they give us a lot of training and programming to just offer the services to the students and to also report the progress that we are doing. So that's Project Discovery for you. Yeah, and so let me talk about how we recruit students then. And it really is a recruitment effort, but it also just happens that we try to be very big in the community so that students can share with each other about the program. And that's how we get a lot of our students, just like students tell each other, but we actually identify students that are of age in our properties, and we call them and we tell them about the program, and we try to recruit them into the program. We also go into each of the schools. The Arlington Public Schools are our biggest school district because most of our properties are in Arlington. So we work with students in their schools, and just overall students find about the program that way through us, through their peers, through team program as well. We have students who have been with us from elementary school to graduating high school. There's a community. And AHC also takes a lot of work into promoting our program to all of its partners and networks and everything. So thank you. Yeah. Any questions? Any questions from the audience on the virtual? All right, so I will just go ahead and start with what we expect from the students, or what we ask them to do when they join the program. The program is just as flexible for them as it is for you guys. So we really just want to be kind of like a support system. We don't want to expect too much of them, or just be like, and take much of their time, because what we want is to enrich their high school experience and to provide resources. So we expect them to meet at least once a month with their mentor, just to make sure they're keeping a relationship. It's just kind of a commitment thing. We also ask them to check in with the CCR staff at least once a month. We kind of end up doing it ourselves, so that it's pretty easy. And then we do ask them to at least attend 5 workshops. Project Discovery also requires each student that it's part of our program to attend 2 college tours. And the workshops that they also require the students are diverse. So they require the students to at least attend a financial literacy workshop, a college admissions workshop, and I think the other requirement is they have to take the SAT. So it's kind of just like those expectations, so that the students know that that's the bare minimum that they will need to probably do well in school. It's not really And then for us ourselves, we want the students to apply for the scholarship. So yeah, so before also we go into the expectations for the mentors, I'll go on the expectations for the staff. And this is expectations that both parents and students can expect from us. So the CCR staff, which is mostly just Gabby and myself, we want to support parents, mentors, and students as a community. We want to advocate on behalf of the student. We usually do this with our counselors, with our teachers, because especially with low-income families and families of color, they do not get enough representation or they have trouble understanding the resources that they have at the school. So we want to be there to kind of just advocate for them and create also just their independence so that they can learn how they can advocate for themselves. Every month we provide, every 2 weeks we provide a list of scholarships and resources. Those of you who have mentored with us before, we're receiving a list of resources every 2 weeks. It's just also with the events that we do, with the resources that we gather from the community. We are also expected to send you all check-in forms so that you guys remember to check in with your students and submit your hours, because we are expected to track hours for you guys volunteering. We also have to provide parent engagement workshops where we teach parents about financial literacy and FAFSA mostly, but also just kind of like how to support their student and the college application process. We also are supposed to do quarterly meetings, and like I said before, support the students with FAFSA. That's a staff-only expectation. You guys do not need to submit FAFSA with the students. We do it ourselves. So yeah, that's kind of how it works for the students and for the staff. The agreements that we have with them and their parents. Any questions so far? Yes.
How big are parents?
That's a great question. It really depends. It's one, there are parents that are 100% engaged. Like they usually want to know how their student is doing. They come. We have a mentor here who goes and works with the student's mom and everything. But like there are also other parents who kind of sign their student up and never reach out again. So it's kind of half and half. We do want to, goal for us this year is to improve that engagement by just like also showing the parents what the community can do for them. I used to send it for the school year, and I will start over for, I want to say for the school year again. So it's kind of a school year thing, just to make sure that it's being over their summer. Yeah, I haven't said that.
That's a
Yeah.
question.
Which colleges did you tour last year?
I don't know if everybody's hearing. So our mentor here is asking what colleges we toured last year. We did Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond. We usually do very local, just to make sure that we use our resources very well. And we did VCU, George Washington University in DC. We also did Georgetown University during the spring. That was really amazing. We did at the University of Maryland recently, and I think that's it.
And so the students have a choice of going. So when we offer 4 trips, they need to go on 2. So you can't assume that your student has seen every single one, although some of them might.
Yeah.
I just want to say, you might want to add Nova to this. Why don't these kids go to Nova and it's totally overwhelming?
Yeah, we are looking into doing that as well this year. We did George Mason, I just remember, and yeah, but also for the requirement that the students need to go on the tours, that's a project discovery requirement. Tours that they go on by themselves are also count. So they just need to go college tours. They don't need to come with us. So if you went with your student, yeah.
But if I might want to take a look like a polytechnical school.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
everybody has to go to college.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be a great question for everyone in the community, because I don't think we are very aware of like what's out there. in terms of like career-wise. We have for the past year, we've been trying to increase the amount of resources that we tell students about technical schools and trade schools. But you know, it's all of our industry is kind of hyper-focused on college, that it's been a little bit hard, but I think we're all working on it. So if you have those resources.
Yeah, so we are very open to suggestions.
Yeah, especially like technical stuff. I know that there's a lot of just tech work that's going on that, you know, where you don't need a degree. We would love to have those as well.
I was just, sorry, one follow-up question. So are you likely to do tours of those same schools again this year?
Yep, that's probably going to be the plan. Yeah, we like to do college tours when the colleges are doing activities. So we like to take our students to full-on events. So for VCU, we went to the Primeros Pasos, which is a conference-like event. For UMD, we did the same thing. It was a conference for families that had workshops whether in Spanish and in English. We are trying to see if we can take the students to the Alcanza College Fair at George Mason. So just trying to take them when there's those opportunities available. So yeah, and we do stay local as much as we can because it's because there are some schools that we would love to take them to, but you know, crossing state lines and too much driving, it's a bit of a viability student. So we also would love to support the students going into the tours by themselves or open that opportunity to them with their families. So yes, we're trying to go to UVA this year. We'll let you guys know.
All right, so now we're going to talk about the mentor expectations, and I have a virtual or whatever online mentor agreement form that I'm going to send to everybody afterwards. And that is essentially the expectations that we have for you. So I thought I'd go over them now. Just like we ask the students to commit to meeting with you once a month, we're asking you to commit to meeting with them. And meeting can be virtually, it can be in person, it can be emails or texts. And we'll talk more about how to actually reach your student as the night goes on. Some of you, and especially when you're working with a motivated senior, you're going to be like way more than once a month. But so once a month is the minimum. We will send you a reminder to fill out this mentor check-in form. It lets us track the hours, which is important for our funders, but it also is a way that you can ask us questions. And then you can just also email us anytime or call us, but please do communicate with us. And then all of you are obviously doing awesome at attending the orientation, and we'll have some other trainings and stuff during the year. The trainings that I offer sometimes are geared more towards the teen tutors, but I also did some more broad ones, and so they're optional. You don't have to attend every single thing I offer, but I try to make them interesting. So confidentiality is the next thing. Many of you live in Arlington. All of these students are in Arlington. You're gonna get to know them. Please keep what you get to know confidential. So if your mentee does something that seems really funny and you want to tell a friend, just tell it in a very vague way. Don't use names, don't use family names. If you have a specific concern, please talk to our staff about it. You don't need to be confidential when you're talking to them, but when talking to anybody else, just please respect the student's privacy. Next one. Okay. So clearly COVID is still a thing. So we're asking that all of our volunteers are vaccinated at this point. Staff and students are also required to be vaccinated. If that changes, I'll let you know. For right now, the policy is just please be really careful if you have been exposed or just not feeling well, please just switch to a virtual format. Okay, boundaries. So it's particularly important for mentor because you're not going to be meeting in a center with our staff present all the time. And so we are trusting you and asking you to think through, how to keep good boundaries with the students. We're gonna stress building a relationship, but just keep in mind what is an appropriate relationship. There's some stories that you want to share about your childhood and maybe others that you shouldn't, or, and you might hear things from them. If they are bringing up something, something tough in their life, we're never suggesting that you shut them down if they're wanting to talk, but you might not want to be really probing them. Does that make sense? If you might think that they've got something going on and they're not talking about it and you're just getting a little concerned, please call Gabby and Anna and talk to them about that. You are going to figure out how to communicate with your student, and you also are going to want to set boundaries around that. So if texting is the best thing, but you don't want to be texted after 9 or 10 p.m., please tell the student that. They do text you at midnight and you've already told them not to, then just ignore that. You're going to set boundaries there. We have this community center that's got some computer labs upstairs, and we're hoping to have a designated time that Gabby and Anna are available that you can meet with your student. So we have some AHC spaces where you can meet with your student, but besides that, just any other public place. So the it's called Boston Porter now has good outdoor space, the coffee shops, libraries. You're never going to the students, where they live.
Access, so if we meet a student here, we need access.
So if you're meeting a student here, you'll need access, and there are nights that we have team program. If that interests you, then be in touch with us and we can walk you through the nitty-gritty of it. So when there's team program here, the building will be open, but there'll be specific hours. So it'll be 6 to 7 on Monday and Wednesday. And we would tell the staff, oh yeah, Tim's gonna come and meet the student upstairs. So yeah, it's a possibility, but it's not a drop in last minute possibility. Okay, next one, yeah. So your work with the student is whatever. So you may not transport teens in your vehicles, and some people want to do that to go on college visits, and that would not be part of our program. So we just authorize you working in Arlington, not in the car. That makes sense. Social media, so you're not gonna friend your student or whatever, but it's a great way to get to know each other. If you want to show them something funny you found on TikTok, or ask them what they've been watching, but just don't follow each other to learn more about each other. Same thing with photos and videos. I feel like the whole touch thing is a lot less relevant with COVID. So, and especially with teenagers, but this month they wanted to give you a hug at the end of the year. You had a great relationship. They're going to college. They want to give you a hug. You may reciprocate, but it doesn't start with you. It starts with them and their comfort level. Yeah, and I think I've gone through it before. So if you're concerned about anything, just please reach out to her. I've asked everybody to take the mandated reporter training, and I could send that link out again. Apparently one of the links wasn't correct. So I'll be sure to send that out again. And then that last thing, just to say it one more time, but if you need support, if anything's going wrong, if you don't know what to do next, or we won't know if you don't let us know. So Gabby and Anna, they know the students, they have a ton of resources and a ton of knowledge themselves, and they're happy to help. So I won't go into those much. So questions? You don't need to. that the only one? There were 2 lists. Place. Okay. It's only one post.
Can you repeat the questions for the folks that are on virtually?
All right, so it was, if you've already done the mandated reporter training, do you need to do it again? So you only need to do it once, and it is only one training. So, and I may or may not have the right link sent to everybody, so I will send it out again.
You guys. So that we're here for like, we just contact them, email address, or just an office phone number and extension, or cell phones if they're after hours, or how is that?
We'll go, so they asked how are we going to be communicating with the staff? Whether it's going to be just email or do you call phone number during hours? We're definitely going to go over several ways in which you can get in touch with us. But the office number, the CCR number, it's, Gabby has it, it's available on normal work hours. We are also kind of available some afternoons, some late afternoons, because we do work with the students. Also, we do prefer text or email, phone calls. We may not answer them at the moment because we're usually just like doing something. So text is usually the best form, or voicemail. But that's kind of for the phone. We will also share a couple of other ways in which you guys can get in touch, like office hours or actually scheduling appointments online. If you guys like that, it's anything. So I'm excited about it.
Sorry, I thought of one question.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned the computer lab, do most students have a laptop from school or like a personal one or?
Yeah, so the question is, do most students have a laptop? Arlington Public Schools gives all of their students laptops. And if their laptop breaks, if they say that they don't have one from Arlington Public School, then they should get one, because they should have it.
Yeah, that's a great question. So our mentor here is asking if college applications still cost money for each application. And if so, do students know that? Are they comfortable with paying that amount? How can you guys support the students who want to apply to a lot of schools? And that is a great question because for them, it's free. Especially a lot of our students are low-income students. And there exists this new and amazing resource. I don't know if you guys are all familiar, but the Common Application, which is an online application that has over 900 and something colleges on it. You are allowed to apply with one single application to 20 of them at once. And for students who are a certain, that means certain requirements, usually an income limit, free reduced lunch, or other financial constraints, they can apply to all of those 20 for free. In that application, and that there's a Common Application, but there's also Coalition. A lot of applications offer fee waivers. And so actually most of the students in our programs do not pay a single cent for the applications that they submit. The Common Application also has all the, like, as many schools as you can think of, all the way from like Harvard to the smallest schools in Virginia. Yes, I know, I used to work there.
In order to use the fee waiver, don't they need some kind of documentation? Is there documentation?
No, so our mentor asked if in order to get the fee waiver, they need to get documentation, they need some sort of documentation, and if the documentation comes from AHC, no, they need to, how it actually works at Common App is they select the box, and then that box shows up on their counselors and then they check a box too, and that's it. Their counselors should know whether they are eligible or not. And that's how it gets confirmed. So the question is, when are they usually working on their FAFSA? The FAFSA application opens for the next school year, so 2022-2023 for the fall opens in October 1st. FAFSA is a first come, first serve. So if you do get matched with a senior, the main thing that they have to do is submit their FAFSA as soon as they can, as soon as October 1st hits. However, we do that like on our end. So your job is to basically like go with Anna and Gabby, they'll help you and just remind them.
Now, do they have to schedule something with me? I'm gonna start high school now. I'm like, you consider that? Okay, you have time.
Yeah, so the question is, do they know before, right, if they are going to get any type of money? No, they do not. They actually do not find out their FAFSA or the financial aid awards until they get an acceptance. So they usually get acceptance I don't know. I want to say like April, right? Because they have to March, April.
No,
They-
My question was, do they have to make an appointment or something like that for them for you to help them there?
Oh, okay. So if they have to make an appointment with us to help, no, they don't. They can just, we're usually when FAFSA comes up, we do workshops. So we are going to tell them like, hey, sign up. We're going to be doing FAFSA appointments with your parents these days. That's going to be the case. You're going to get it in the newsletter as well, so you can remind them. But we also are here to help at any point. They can text us. They usually just text us and just ask us if we need any help.
So you're like, they really should wait till the school year starts because the counselor will be around like that.
Yeah. And
Plus,
so,
plus recommendations. and all that.
and so, listen, you're sorry. It's fine.
Yeah.
You're gonna make everybody jealous.
Yeah, I'm jealous. Ooh. Yeah.
We didn't answer for a while, it was like, answer me now.
Yeah, so we're just having kind of a quick conversation about when should students apply. If you do have a student at the moment, students should definitely start their applications, like the actual process. They're coming up, filling out forms and whatnot during the school year. But the summer is the perfect time for them to choose their colleges, to narrow down their lists, to write their essay, because that takes, or to think about it, because that takes a long time and it's really stressful when you get started with the school year and all the senior stuff that they have to do. So just kind of like prepare them, look at them, what do they need, and gather all those things. But submitting applications shouldn't be happening. However, the Common App opens on August 1st. Yes, it opens on August 1st, so they can start, actually they could submit if they wanted to, but August 1st.
My question is, a lot of them have higher expectations than is realistic. My problem has been in both years is getting the real view of how they're doing in school. It's really important for me to get the transcript and to get the information. I don't know the details with the kids, but I think that's something that we need to have, because if you're a student at the CF and they're looking at Ivy League schools, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so we
For
need,
success.
we need somehow to be able to get access to what their transcript looks like.
Yeah, so
What GPA looks like. And that's the thing I had a hard time getting a hold of.
so our mentor is asking, about how can they get information about how the student is doing. So what actually is their academic record so that you can work better with their expectations and just overall just make suggestions about the progress and whatnot. Because if it's a confidentiality thing, we cannot share with you all of that information very specifically. We can just kind of talk about their overall record, like how do they do if they take the classes that they're taking. I do encourage you to talk to them about a good way to gauge this is the classes that they're taking.
I have to disagree with you, because one of my kids was in an AP class, and her overall average was like low 70s. Okay, so just because they was in an AP, there has to be a way to let us know approximately where are they a B student, are they an A student, are they a C student? You don't have to give the exact transcript, but we need something because they come in with expectations of going to these fancy schools, and it's not happening. I haven't let them down now.
Yeah, that's,
Set them up to be successful with what they're working.
yeah, exactly. That is, that is such a good point. Yeah, we're actually, we're working as an organization on getting that information as well. We do struggle ourselves keeping track of our students' classes because we also have to get permission from the parents to look. So we can set up appointments, and we'll share a couple of resources about how to set up appointments with us or how to meet with us, kind of like on a regular basis, so that we can check on your student case manage better. So yeah, we're definitely working on that. That is feedback that we have gotten, and we do plan on. Also because we also want to know. If you don't know, it's because we also are kind of in the blind about where students are, but we're also setting up more meetings with the counselors and getting to know each other and building that relationship with them as well, so that there is kind of more research sharing. I think.
Yeah, I was just working on that. I mean, there'll be lots of asks. I mean, it's one thing if they're not being honest. Sorry.
Yeah.
I guess that's a.
You are
I mean, am I allowed
100%.
to say like, hey, what's your GPA? What kind of courses are you taking?
Yeah, that's 100%
Okay.
allowed. You could, like, if they even.
If they show me their.
Yeah, if they
report,
show
that's
you,
fine.
like, no, they can, if the student shares that academic information with you, it's
That's on-
great.
that's in play.
Yeah, like, you can do what, like, with us, like, how we do it is we ask them to share the password with us,
okay.
so that we can see it. But, you know, they change it, they say the one that's not true, and so yeah, and also that Gabby and I just started last year, so this is kind of like a data tracking system that we are creating on our own. So we are actually very excited that this year is probably going to be a lot smoother. So we have taken that feedback and we will, but push us. Don't be afraid. Call us up. How's my student doing? Yeah.
I was gonna say, what helped with my student last year was we looked together at the Naviance portal that the school provides, and that's helpful for setting expectations because it shows, as basically the scattergrams, we can see the cost that students.
We are working on it. So our mentor here shared that Naviance, that all the students in Arlington have access to. Naviance actually shows their GPA and also has a bunch of resources so that the students can compare themselves with their own peers from the high school. That is a resources that we encourage everyone to. I just realized this. There's people on the way around. So yeah, so we do encourage everybody to use Naviance. And someone else asked if there is training available. Not right now, but that is something that we want to do because we also want to train parents on it. So
That's a great idea.
yeah, so that is something that we're working on with the resource access counselors at the Arlington Public School High School. So definitely look out for that. Because we also need it.
You spell, I'm sorry, I didn't do that. Spell that website.
Naviance.
NAVI.
Oh, like name. Oh. Okay. Sorry.
Any other questions? Any questions or comments from anyone in the Zoom?
I have a question. So let's say, for instance, once we're matched and we want to schedule like our first session with the student, how do we, you said we could meet up in like one of the community rooms that you guys have? How would we set that up? Like, do we have to contact you to make sure there's, do we have to make a reservation?
So that's a great question. Actually, we are going to go over that in the next steps, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say right away. This year, we noticed that the biggest problem with kind of student meeting their mentors was that we matched them on email, and that was it. So like the students wouldn't respond to email, the students wouldn't connect with their mentor to text them. It was a mess.
We've got somebody in the waiting room.
I
that got
just
bounced out. Okay.
I know. I'm so sorry. So yeah, so we do plan for this year for every single mentor and mentee first meeting to happen in person. That's why we want to open up the office hours. For the first couple of weeks in September is going to be the opportunity to meet with your students in person. We hope to do it here, but also we're seeing if we can get the space at the shell to do strictly those things. Once you meet with them in person, it's a lot easier to ask them what method they prefer to communicate. But there is also, and I know that you guys have read Laura's email, we do have a matching meetup event on August 18th for the last day of their boot camp. We plan to have another really big one in September, but there are also those little opportunities. We hope that every opportunity, every meeting, first meeting happens in person. So we will probably just email you and be like, are you available these dates? Same thing with your student, so that the first meeting can happen first. That is a plan that we have discussed, because the emails didn't work. Any other questions?
So for. Some of the stuff,
Hey.
a lot of that stuff is personal.
Yeah, so a mentor is asking if mentors are expected to help with the FAFSA form. No, you're not, please don't. Please do not help them with the FAFSA form. You can help them with like questions about it, always, but the personal information, we are gonna have those meetings with the parents. You are not allowed to.
One thing I know my student was confused about last year is he had done the FAFSA with you guys, but he didn't know what his EFC number was, because when you fill out the FAFSA, it then emails you his email, and then the EFC is there, but it doesn't look like a dollar amount, so it's just like a number with a dollar sign on it, so he didn't know what that was. So that might be something.
Yeah, if the students show you, I think the stuff like the EFC, like the big information that FAFSA shares, you can see it. But like the actual form, you should help.
I just think you guys explain to us back to that.
Yeah,
It
no,
doesn't look like
yeah. We will explain them the EFC and also teach them about like what FAFSA is as well. Yes.
Related to FAFSA, so the student I worked with last year asked me to help her understand her financial aid package, which did have, money involved, obviously. So is that something that is permissible for us to help with, or should we refer to you all?
That is a very good question. I think what I'm gonna say is go ahead and refer them to us when it comes to financial matters. But I think the packet doesn't exactly have any actual income information or personal information that I remember. But we actually meet with them for doing that. So we meet with them to complete the FAFSA, and then we meet with their parents to go over each of their financial aid packets, and we have a form where they can input all this stuff, and it tells them to compare. So actually, please send them to us when it comes to that, because we have a whole system set up to help them and remind them if they haven't reached out to you about that.
We want like conversation about interests and career path, like what are you interested in? I mean, I'm signed up for this. I'm kind of thinking about like what I'm going to talk about. But I kind of imagine this, like, what are you interested in? Like, what do you want to study? Like, helping them.
Yeah.
Maybe choose that kind of stuff. I mean, is that?
Yes, it's encouraged, I would say. And kind of like I was going to go into, or I am going to go into the mentor tips. Thankfully, our conversation has kind of led into a lot of tips already. If someone, I was going to ask the question about what you guys think a good mentor is. Like, what do you guys think a mentor does? And you can also say an example about who has mentored you.
Talking to them about, this is college readiness, talking to them about what college is like, being able to relate, maybe like share what college is like, before you take that step from high school into the real world, into college, and then career paths and like that. But the thing that my
Did anyone hear that? Did everybody hear that? You can send a little on the chat.
No,
No?
wasn't clear.
Yeah, so our mentor here, no, it's it's difficult. Our mentor here was saying that a mentor for them, it's a guide where they also share tips or guidance and provide guidance about the things that they know. So how college is, how careers work. So just overall, just a guide and a guidance. Anyone else? Yeah.
So wisdom, in a sense. From someone who's already gone through a lot of this.
Yeah, words of wisdom. Yeah. Yeah, so words of wisdom is another tip. Sorry.
In practical terms, starting with junior year, want to be very, very open, talk about if you get next time, like, if you have any job, small job, serious, think about what they're doing.
Yeah, so our mentor here is sharing that a mentor is basically a resource as well, where they can help the student figure out and navigate the difficulties that they have in high school, or to help them improve or add any experience to their own resume. So if they had a junior who hasn't had any job experience, the mentor can help them like add to their resume, and also, like we said, navigate the difficulties that they have in high school, especially students that we support, like that are students of color. I'm gonna go back to the one before. So yeah, I just wanted to share, we have 30 more minutes. I just wanted to share a couple of very specific tips that we have came up with after experiencing all of these students that we know, that also might be helpful. Every single one of your tips are really, really helpful. And so we just hope that after this, you guys also get to have each other as resource. But a couple of tips from the CCR team is that students absolutely prefer texting as their method of communication. They will not answer calls if you do not text first, because they're going to be like scared. So texting is their preferred method. Some students are really good with email though, so that works just fine. But texting, they'll love that. They will not usually respond during school hours. They probably don't even have signal in school. They don't wake up early, so early on weekends is also not their favorite. They are really good at nighttime. So I usually get them to text me at like 7 p.m. Like they're super active at 7 p.m. and after. But you know, just 5 to 7 is a really good time on weekdays. Also on weekends. So if you actually would like to mentor on a weekend, that's very good. For the relationship building, these are teenagers that you will be working with, and they don't really know themselves that well. There are some that are just, they want to talk about themselves. That, you know, those are, yeah, it's great. But also asking too many questions about like, oh, so what are you doing? So what do you want from life? What have you done? What have you done? This and this. They're sometimes they're like, I don't know anything. Like, I don't know what I want. I don't know who I am. So a really good way to tackle that issue is to just talk about yourself. Just kind of like share with them your high school experience, your favorite things, your favorite shows, the things that you like to do on your free time, your hobbies. And then you can start picking up kind of what they like to do. And from there, just kind of like tell what they want to do, what they might be interested in, or just ask very specific questions like, oh, like, what's your favorite subject, or, some very, very specific, or do you like video games? What shows are your favorite? Those very specific questions might help you with some knowing what they might be overall interested in. Because asking them, who do you want to be, what career you want to go into, it's gonna get nowhere. They don't know most of them, but you feel free to ask them too. It's really good. So yeah, like I said, also manage your expectations. They are teenagers. They do not understand email etiquette or text etiquette a lot, so they will not respond promptly. And again, share as many resources as you want. So even if they're not texting you back, text them a link to an internship, text them a link to a new job, or send them a TikTok.
And that's something that you can, be the adult in the relationship, and when you text them a bunch of times and they don't write back, you could say, like, can you give me a thumbs up when you look at my text? Like, I get you're busy, you might not have time to really look at it, but you can give them some specific prompts about how you would like to communicate. Like, that'll make you feel better. I know that you're out there, so.
Yeah, that's a really good one. We have to do that with them. So don't feel bad if they don't respond to you. They don't respond to anyone. And just a couple of reminders. It is really hard to build relationships with teenagers. A lot of you might just do it really easily. Some students are really easy, but some students may not be. And also there is not a one right way to be a mentor. You don't have to help with all the resources or get them into the most amazing school. Just being there for them, you would be surprised how thankful the students are to have someone that they ask a financial question to. Like that sometimes changes their lives. If they're really stressed and you respond to their text, like when they ask if they should apply to the school or not, that sometimes just changes their life around, and that's really important. So don't give up on them, even if they don't text you back or they're really difficult. And if you do find that you are having trouble with your students, we're always here for you. Okay, so we have a CCR website. So this is now the part of the resources that we have available for you all. We do have a CCR website. I made it, so it's not the best website in the world. I am so sorry. We haven't been able to get the really nice URL. I'm working on it. So this is the URL. We are going to send it to you an email as well, where you guys can click it. So that's going to be the website, and that's going to have actually everything that you guys need, from the mentor handbook, which is full of resources, where you can make an appointment with us, the drive, the folder for the orientation recording and everything is going to be, you're going to be able to access it through the website. So we encourage you to bookmark it. If you're not a website person, it's okay. Just send us an email. And then I should open it. Yeah, but I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, wait. Let me do the website. I don't know if. Okay. So I'll just click on it super quickly. Can everybody see the website on the Zoom?
Yes.
Okay, good. So that link takes you to our mentorship program kind of site situation, and you can go into the mentor handbook here. There is going to be a tutorial on this mentor handbook on the Google Drive. So you can just wait for that, or you can just click around through it. And then we're also going to have the monthly check-in form that you have to submit your hours in. It's also going to be here is the access. This is what it looks like. And then I cannot see the cursor. They should be, yeah.
If they're not, let us know.
Yeah.
I got stuck on one, okay.
I'm gonna be working on it in the next week, so don't fret. I'm working. Sorry. And also the Mentor Google Drive, which is a shared drive. It has the PowerPoint from last year, the orientation recording from last year, a long version of the mentor agreement. I'm not gonna have that there. And then another link to the handbook. So that's really all the resources that we have available for you guys at the moment. Another one that I want to show you guys super quickly is if you go into the current students, and you go in here, you can make a CCR office hours appointment with us. This is directly linked to Gabby and I's calendar. So you can just go ahead and select the day that works for you. You can do CCR office hours, select the day that works for you, and just pick a time, and it'll send you the Zoom link. But if you want to meet in person, you can just let us know. So yeah, it's there, available. The students haven't used it. I think they've used it once. Maybe you guys will use it. I don't know. It's there. So yeah, that's the website for you guys. We will send you the link as well. We'll see if we purchase a nice URL. So
So is your office here?
yeah. Or someone asked if our office is here. Our office is here at Gates of Boston. It's on the second floor. You cannot go in because it's as big as a closet. But we will be here if you guys want to meet. We can in this room or in the other rooms upstairs. Yes.
This is for the returning mentors. I've spoken to Gabby and Laura about this. I know I spent hours on the phone just with Nova dealing, and I made contacts there that I have now for different things, whether it's registration or department heads or whatnot. Now, who knows where my student's going to go next year? But if your student's going to know that and you need to contact the registrar, why should you spend an hour on the phone or emailing to get these contacts? That if everybody could make a list of their contacts and who they reached and what their jobs are at the various schools, and then you could compile it, it would make life a lot simpler.
Yeah, we actually have a really good solution for that that we would like to share with you guys. Is this presenting? I think not that. We're going to be introducing a new mentor email listserv for you all.
Yeah, so we're gonna make a listserv, and you are welcome to opt out of it by emailing me at any time if it is too much. But when you have questions for each other or suggestions for each other, it'll be a great way to go to all of the mentors. And so some people have been doing this for a while and have good feedback, and others of you are like starting off with a bang and might have good ideas or good questions. And so we will be trying that this year.
That makes sense. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you creating a database like on Excel
Yeah,
by college. And this is the registrar of this school, or this is the such and such of this school, or this is the housing person if they're going to the dorm.
yeah.
I had a thing at ODU with my student 2 years ago, dorm thing. And it's just, I know how much, you're shaking your head, Lynn. Trying to get in contact with the right person, but if Lynn has to contact another school, why should I think I have him so long?
Yeah, so we actually, I think this is basically the startup point for that. So you
Okay.
will email this. It's probably going to be called like CCR Mentors 2022. Email us with the resources. And like the good thing about the listserv is that on our end, it opens up like, it makes a whole list about the emails that have been sent, which makes it a lot easier for us to compile
That's not
it.
gonna do this. I think.
No, she's saying that she'll compile it from that.
Yeah. So if you do have your resources, just go ahead. When we send the email listserv, you just go ahead and email that to this email. The good thing is that when you email it, people will have access to that email as well. So they will have it as soon as you send it. You know what I mean? And then I will work on compiling every single resource on a database as well. So which is good, you know, because you will get the live email when someone sends it. You know what I mean? So.
I just want to.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean, and I know that is the goal, the end goal, but the listserv helps us all basically get that email at once, right? Because I love that you have so much trust in me compiling things and putting them up there, but it's really hard. Yeah, I try my best, but that's definitely going to help us all, and we're all going to be able to see the resource as it's sent on live, so.
But that's something maybe in your initial communications. Explain to people, please send us.
Yes.
Yes, that's exactly what's gonna happen. However, if you are a data person and you have ways for me to do it, so that it's automatic every time that you send something. Yes, I know that there's ways to do it. I just don't know how to code yet. But yeah, so that would be amazing. Yeah, so. And then we talked about the office hours as well. You can do it online, or we will also send you information about what dates, times, and places are going to happen during the fall, so that you guys can come hang out with us or with your student. And then, Laura, do you want to talk about the mentor chicken?
Yeah, and I think we've already said this also, but the check-in form that she pulled up, and it's one of those top buttons on the website, lets you track your hours. One great thing you could do is just every time you meet with your mentor, you could put it in there. But if you're just emailing off and on during the month, and at the end of the month, you want to put it in there. But please do. Our funders look at how many hours volunteers help us, and it's very impressive number, but I think it's probably very underrepresented in the CCR program because you're doing it all independently at off hours. So my goal is to get it to more accurate.
Yeah.
I know you said with the FAFSA, like, we're not involved in the financial stuff. Do we, if they want to apply for scholarships, that, I feel like that's kind of great. I don't know. Do we help with that?
Absolutely.
We do.
Yes.
Yeah, so our mentor is asking if, mentioned that you are kind of not allowed to work with them with their FAFSA form itself. But they asked if they can help with scholarship applications, and yes, you can. I know that some do require some financial questions. You're free to tell the student that you're not allowed to see their financial information, or that you're like, you don't have to tell me. But we actually do encourage you guys to assist the students with finding scholarships, and also helping them with, tips, what's best, how do you get the scholarships? Maybe if you can help them with writing one essay for a bunch of scholarships, please help them with scholarships. That's always,
And
really
that's been
helpful.
another suggestion for a training topic that I think we'll follow up on this year. We're committed to having mentor, like, kind of quarterly check-in things, a little bit like we're doing now, getting feedback from each other, but we'll have some training sessions, and that's been suggested several times. Well, that's help the students get scholarships. So.
No question. For how long is the typical meeting with the students at a coffee shop here? Hours, an hour, 45 minutes to an hour?
Yeah, so our mentor here is asking for how
Or
long?
3 minutes on text.
Yeah.
I mean, there's extremes.
Yeah, for how long do you meet with your student per meeting? We kind of log hours. So, but it's kind of more like instances. So the meeting can be either 3 minutes or a 5-minute conversation through text to a 3-hour meeting. You're free to log it as you kind of want. If you want to log it per instance, that's fine. But if you do meet for 3 hours, why not say 3 hours? So yeah, so it really is, it depends on how it goes with your student. 1 hour is probably the average.
Do you want to pull up the handbook at all or not?
Do you guys want me to go over the handbook?
Just like click on a few links and tell them the highlights. It's super cool.
Okay, so I'll just go over the handbook real quick. I'll just click it from here. You can find a lot of resources that answer a lot of these questions in here. From our contact information, this Gabby's number, email, there's a worksheet where you can plan with your student just to have it kind of like a check-in thing. There is a calendar on it that you can add on Google. This is a bit complicated. You don't have to look at it, but you can follow this calendar on it, like add it to your calendar, and you should be able to see those events. You can do that. And there's tips on mentoring. There are,
Look, see, here's something about Naviance. If we talk about Naviance tonight. and-
yeah, this is a scanning that I did from Milenka. I used to have all these things like on a on a paper. So they're a little bit updated. I don't remember this one. I didn't say I did this so long ago, but yeah, this is just kind of Naviance instructions and what it looks like and what they have. So yeah. Yeah.
So essentially, there's just tons of information in there. And so for some people, if you like reading things or if you have an immediate question, that's a great place to start. If you hate reading things and feel overwhelmed, you'll definitely feel overwhelmed with this, but it is a lot of information that can be helpful.
Yeah, and hopefully, like, once we get a bunch of resources and contact info from you guys, we can put them here as well. And we also have a scholarship list. I actually update this one. Is it this one? I have access to this one a lot. It's longer than this. I just hit a bunch of rows because I usually just kind of like change it as the months pass and the deadlines pass. But it's filtered, but it's really long. Actually. No, I don't know where the filter is. Oh, wait. No, never mind. It's longer, but you can filter it. You can play with it. So like, let's say if you want to just know like when it's due, you can select like only June. And so on and so forth.
And just a note with the filter, because this is a shared document. I think if anyone's in this, then they can see the filter too. So they would just have to clear the filter if they want it.
Okay, yeah. Do you have any idea? I'll just look into how to.
Data at the top.
You have to create your own view, right? Yeah, but can anyone do it? Like everybody,
anyway,
every person that
yeah.
goes into this document would have to create their own filter view, right?
You can click a button that says like view my view and get rid of everyone else's view.
Huh.
All right.
Okay.
Stuff to learn.
I'm sure there's better ways to show these things, right? Than like Google Sheets. Like there's, okay, anyway. I will fix this for you guys, literally tomorrow.
I think you download that Google Doc to make it.
Yeah, and actually, if you download it, you should be able to see the whole thing, like all of that.
Just show that, I believe it's file.
Now we come in Excel file.
And then the Excel file will actually, it should come out with everything, like everything that's not hidden, every in the filters.
We know that we're gonna call with our tech issues.
That's right. When you guys said what you guys were doing, I was like, I have so many questions.
It's on your other screen. It's on your monitor. So you gotta pull it up.
I just don't know in which direction my laptop is. Okay.
Selfishly, I probably do all my meetings here. It's gonna block it. But like, when can I show up and when can I not? I'm still, do I have to email you first?
Yes,
I have to email you first.
Yes. one time, not every single time.
But the doors are locked, but the doors are open between 5 and whatever.
Yeah, I think that I'll come up with a way to let everybody know the hours here and the process.
That'd be great.
For here, because this is a super convenient site, and then, if they end up being at the Shell, once or twice a week, then we'll email that.
What else? What else is like, can I just sit and we can, sign up for these tables or another group?
So there are rooms upstairs, there's a computer lab and 2 other classrooms upstairs.
Great.
We're asking about meeting at the center. If you want to meet at the center with your student at any point, you can just go ahead and send us an email. There, you might be able to meet in this big room, but there's a couple of rooms upstairs as well, where you can meet with them.
And a very good place to meet. You live near the, you know,
Where?
Central Public.
Where? Where did you say that?
Glen Carroll Public Library.
Okay, so just public
Yeah,
libraries.
we definitely encourage meeting with your student at public libraries. Glen Carlin, there's also the Arlington Central. And also students live all over Arlington, so some students.
Buying something for student, if you were to meet them at a coffee shop, you know, you got them a pastry or something like that, is there? What is the expectations around that?
I think the boundary one is like no kind of big gifts. And stuff that they couldn't buy.
Nothing weird, but if you're drinking coffee,
You
it's better
can
not to offer
definitely
them
buy,
something,
yeah, but
so.
don't invite them to the fanciest dinner. Like, yeah.
Expecting it to work on their career or something's probably fine, or something to encourage them, but not.
We're talking about meeting spots still,
Yeah.
Starbucks. Yes.
So Starbucks on Fairfax Drive.
About meeting their parents. But it said like even to communicate. Like have their parents. How does that? We text them, we talk to them.
It's my understanding that at the beginning, when students are enrolling in this process, their parents are enrolling them in the program. And so there's, the parents communicate with Gabby and Anna, and I think that if there was any parental concerns about having a mentor and having outside communication, it would come up right in the beginning, but it's certainly not every single conversation you need to be involving the parent. Unless Gabby and I already know that it's a parent that wants that. So they're going to tell you that initially, that the parent needs to be involved a lot.
The first time I texted my student, I included his mother on the text. And then just said, hi, this is how you can contact me if you have any questions.
You had mom cell.
It was on, yeah, it was on.
Yeah.
Two different experiences. First was Alan never had any contact with his family. And I think it was.
So we're talking about involving the parent in conversations with the student. You do not have to ask the parent for every single conversation, because when the students enroll, the parents enroll the students in the program, they are expected to communicate with their mentor on a one-to-one basis, but you are always welcome to include the parents into that conversation, at least for the first time.
All right, we're getting close to the end of the meeting. We've got 5 minutes left. Any, I feel like there's a lot more we could talk about, but any more burning questions?
What do you think of that?
So we're hoping to match all, well, all the seniors, hopefully, mid-August. So that August 18th that I initially called a matching date, and I'm just gonna call it like a social, like if everybody comes, get to know your student, or if you already have a student, bring them along, event. So we hope to have it done by then. That's our goal.
So there's no like resumes set out.
So that was the process last year, was we did a kind of a resume document, and then it was completely up to the mentor to get going. And so I don't know if there's gonna be that student information sheet this year at all. We're experimenting every year. And we will have some structured things as part of that social event. So maybe a scavenger hunt, or, you know, we're not just gonna say, Tim, this is John, go. You're done. So, but yeah, so we're gonna be thinking through.
But so we need to be getting in. That's to do the law, is it a team?
and saying that there's gonna be a great plan.
Okay.
We're already
Keep you all in the
planning
dark about it right
We're
now.
keeping you all in the dark.
Yeah, sorry. We're working out the details of that, so.
Probably when we ask you guys for the meeting, we hope for the matching event, you will all kind of like get to know each other during the day. It's gonna be fun, but otherwise, we do hope to have that information sent to you guys when we ask you what dates you guys are free to meet with your students for the first time. But we are still working on the details.
I really appreciate everybody coming
Yeah.
tonight. I hope you take a cookie on the way out. Grab some water and just, we'll be in touch and ask us questions.
Yeah, any questions, any last questions from anyone in the Zoom?
Yeah. I realized that.
We have something in the chat. Oh, okay, thank you so much. Thank you everyone so much for coming. We will send a recording and also another email about all of that information.
Oh, like, yeah. No, just, I mean.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
I
Bye.
went to high school with kids that were